The story of Esther abounds with tension and dramatic reversals. Here are character, setting, and plot at their very best. Its swirling themes of sensual beauty, political conspiracy, and the threat of catastrophic events hold great appeal for contemporary audiences. Yet, in the final analysis, this is not the record of an epic love affair, a heroic faith, or human intrigue, but rather the account of a loving God who graciously intervenes in human history to carry out his redemptive will for all people. Hey guys, taking a look at Esther, Born for Her Time. This is the 10th in the God's People series that we're currently working through. I'll say up front, this is amazing. This is my favorite of the 10 that I've read so far. We have 2 left. We've got Peter and Paul. This is the last of the Old Testament. But man, this is definitely my favorite one, which I honestly wasn't expecting. This is just a fantastic book. Lots of really interesting things about Esther. I think most notably is it's the only book in the entire Bible that doesn't directly mention God or faith or anything like that. It's more of a historical document, which is obviously very rare in the Bible. Of all the 66 books, this is the only one that doesn't have anything about that in it. That's not why it's my favorite, but it is really interesting. This is just a story of a young girl who becomes the queen of the Persian Empire. And it includes King Xerxes from the Persian Empire. It's all about him. And Esther, she's a Jew. That's why she's noted in the Bible. And basically, the former queen Vashti of Persia was kicked out because she was too headstrong. You can read more specifically about that in this book or in the Bible. You can look in the book of Esther. There's a whole book on it. But Esther basically got thrown into a beauty competition. She's an orphan, so she has no family. She has one cousin named Mordecai, who ends up being a very important role throughout this story. But she basically enters a beauty contest to enter the harem as the entire Persian Empire goes on a hunt for a new queen, and she ends up winning. Now, Xerxes had hundreds of wives, but being the queen means like you're the number one wife. So it gets into a little bit of that, and I don't want to give the whole story away because it's fantastic. I don't want to spoil anything, so please do yourself a favor, read this book. It's an excellent novelization of Esther, but the book of Esther in the Bible does a great job as well. I think this is better suited for more modern readers, for sure. This is fantastic. I want to talk about it, but I really don't want to give it away if you aren't familiar with the story. Like, seriously, I'm not joking when I say this is my absolute favorite one from the entire God's People series. I didn't mention this at the beginning. It's by James A. Aderman, and I think he also wrote the one on Elijah. Yeah, he did, which is another one of my favorites in this book. So this dude's got a way of writing. I don't know if he has other books out, but I really have liked both of those, especially this one on Esther. There's also a lot of really interesting things with these red pages here. We've got a page on the Persian Kings history. So going into and combining some stuff you probably learned about in history class. Persian Empire trying to take on the Greek city-states. That's noted in the Bible. The Bible isn't a historical document, though, so that's not the purpose of the Bible, but it does have historical facts in it, and one of those things is about a little bit about the Persian Empire. Also a nice map of the Persian Empire. It was the largest empire in the world at the time. It was about 500 years before the birth of Christ. There's also some interesting things on the Feast of Purim. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A Jewish festival in honor of this and what happens between Mordecai, Esther, and the evil Haman. But seriously, I can't tell you enough to check this book out. Check it out, please, please, please. I just want to talk so much more, but if I give anything away, I just don't want to do that to you. Because seriously, this reads like a short story. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the Bible. You can see God's hand in this throughout the story, but not really any mention of God at all. But you can definitely see His hand. It's I will say this: there's a decree to kill all the Jewish people. Esther is Jewish, and she kind of has to wrestle with, what does she do? Xerxes, while it is her husband, he's a little, he can be a little crazy sometimes. But Mordecai stands up for what he believes in, which is really, really cool, and so does Esther. And I will spoil it by saying it does end up being great in the end. But I won't tell you why or how or what's wrong, other than the Jewish people have some issues because of Haman. Check this book out. Seriously, my favorite one in the series. A well-deserved spot on my shelf. Like I said, that's the last of the Old Testament. We're checking out Peter and Paul for the next 2 and final 2 videos of the series. This series has been so much fun. I wish there were more. So Northwestern Publishing House, if you're watching, you've got at least one customer. If you ever come out with more, I'd love to buy more of these little books. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up, subscribe, bell button, so you don't miss any other videos with me. Comment below your thoughts on Esther. That's the last female. We had Ruth a while back, so it's just those two filling out the ladies roster in this one. So great series. I think I mentioned already. It's linked below if you want to check it out and purchase it for yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.